You know that sudden sinking feeling of anxiety right after you hit submit on a major application? Maybe it's for a mortgage, your dream job, or a new apartment. And then it hits you. A computer program is probably the one deciding your fate. Well, welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving straight into how the state of Colorado is completely changing the rules of the game to put the power back in your hands when you're up against the algorithm. Seriously, think about it for a second. What if a literal computer just decided your next big opportunity? Because the truth is, artificial intelligence acting as a gatekeeper in our lives, it's not some far-off futuristic concept anymore. It's happening right now. Algorithms are quietly humming away in the background, deciding who gets a loan, who gets a job interview, and who gets approved for housing. But up until now, we've had almost zero visibility into how those decisions are actually being made. Okay, here's our roadmap for today. We'll start with number 1, the invisible AI in your life. 2, defining the automated technology. 3, the high-stakes areas covered. 4, new rules for companies. 5, your new consumer rights. And finally, 6, enforcement and what's next. Part 1, invisible AI in your life, the digital shield. The foundation of this shield is Colorado's Senate Bill 216-189. This just recently passed right at the Colorado State Capitol, and it is a massive piece of consumer protection legislation. Its main goal? To finally pull back the curtain on these secret black box algorithms for state residents. It's all about making sure that when a really consequential decision is made about your life, you aren't just, tossed aside by lines of code without any way to fight back. Part 2, defining the automated technology, unmasking ADMT. So under the law, it's called ADMT. That stands for Automated Decision-Making Technology. Basically, this is any technology that processes your personal data to generate outputs. We're talking predictions, recommendations, classifications, rankings, or scores that are then used to make or even just assist in making a decision about you. Now, we aren't talking about sci-fi Terminators here. We're talking about everyday machine learning systems and large language models that generate a score determining your reliability. And there is a huge difference between what is regulated and what isn't. The law specifically targets high-stakes AI that is judging you. Things like predictive systems used in hiring, machine learning models that spit out lending scores, or AI generating healthcare recommendations. But it explicitly excludes everyday low-stakes tools. So that basic calculator on your desk? Completely exempt. Your email's spam filter, your antivirus software? Those are excluded too. The law is focused purely on systems that actually influence major outcomes in your life. Part 3, high-stakes areas covered, your life domains. The law applies when this technology is used in what it calls consequential decisions across 7 very specific critical domains. We've got housing, employment, financial services, education, healthcare, insurance, and government services. This is absolutely huge. It means your apartment lease application, your job hunt as a Colorado resident, your medical care, your insurance pricing, and your credit lending are all now legally protected from unchecked AI. If an algorithm is denying you a loan or screening out your resume, the protections of Senate Bill 216-189 automatically kick in. Part 4, new rules for companies, tearing down the black box. Think about the timeline here from your point of view. First, before the decision is even made, companies, which the law calls deployers, they have to give you a point of interaction notice. Essentially, you must get a clear warning that AI is going to be used to evaluate you. Second, during the process, they have to maintain trackable records for at least 3 years. And finally, the most impactful part, if you suffer an adverse outcome, which just means the AI rejects you, reduces your access, or charges you a higher price, they legally owe you a post-adverse outcome disclosure within 30 days, and it has to be in plain English. They have to explain the decision, the AI's role, and how you can exercise your rights. But wait, it doesn't stop at the business that rejected you. It goes further up the chain to the creators. Even the behind-the-scenes developers who build and sell these AI systems have to step out of the shadows now. They are legally required to supply documentation to the deployers, like warning labels about the intended uses, the known risks of the technology, and the types of data they use to train the system. Plus, they also have to retain detailed change logs and version records for 3 years. It's a complete top-to-bottom ecosystem of accountability. Part 5, your new consumer rights, the payoff. So these specific steps are basically your new playbook. Step 1, you receive that plain language disclosure that a computer unfairly rejected you.
Step 2, and this is revolutionary, you now have the right to request a correction if the underlying personal data the AI used is factually wrong. And step 3, the ultimate safeguard, you can demand an opportunity for meaningful human review and reconsideration of that decision.
So, what does meaningful actually mean in this context? Well, the law spells it out perfectly. This human reviewer cannot just be an automated rubber stamp for the AI. It requires a designated individual who considers relevant evidence, is specifically trained for the review, does not just blindly default to the system's output, and, most importantly, has the actual authority to approve, modify, or completely overturn your rejection. You get a real person with real power looking at your specific case. No more hiding behind the computer. Part 6. Enforcement and what's next. Looking ahead. Now, it is absolutely crucial to point out that you, as an individual, cannot personally sue a company under this specific law. There's no new private right of action here. Instead, the Colorado Attorney General serves as your muscle. The AG has the exclusive power to prosecute violations of this law, treating them as deceptive trade practices. If a company is caught breaking the rules, the Attorney General issues a notice and gives them an initial 60-day cure period to fix the issue. If they fail to fix it, the state can bring an enforcement action against them. And they even allocate the fault fairly between the deployer who used the AI and the developer who built it, based on who actually messed up. So, when does all of this actually happen? Mark your calendars for January 1st, 2027. That is the massive effective date when the core of these specific consumer protections fully kick in. Yes, it gives businesses a little time to adjust their software and build their compliance frameworks, but it sets a hard, non-negotiable deadline for when the black box officially gets cracked open for Colorado residents. We have covered a lot of ground today, right? From hidden algorithms to actual human overrides. But I want to leave you with this one thought. Will your new consumer rights finally balance AI efficiency with human empathy? Colorado Senate Bill 26189 is an unprecedented digital shield for sure, but its true impact will depend entirely on how residents like you exercise these new rights. So next time an algorithm tells you no, just remember, you now have a legal pathway to demand a human yes. Thanks for joining this explainer and stay curious.